It's 1 o'clock, so let's get started. My name is Greg Sayre. I'm an administrative law judge with the Department of Public Service, in charge of presiding over this hearing and ensuring that there is a complete record in this case. Before we go on the record, our court reporter, Anthony McLean, is free to interrupt at any time if he needs the spelling of a name or something that should be on the record is inaudible. Mr. McLean, are you ready to go on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. We are on the record.
Thank you. I call case 22E0122, petition of Excelsior Energy Center, LLC, for an original certificate of public convenience and necessity, and for an order providing for lightened regulation. Good afternoon and welcome. We're here for a public statement hearing that was noticed on April 25th of this year. This public statement hearing concerns a petition pursuant to New York State Public Service Law, Section 68, filed by Excelsior Energy Center, LLC. Let me give you a little background of the case. Last month, the New York State Board on Electric Generation Siting and the Environment, also called the Siting Board, gave Excelsior authority to construct, own, and operate a solar electric generation facility with a capacity of up to 280 megawatts, including a 20 megawatt 4-hour duration energy storage system in the town of Byron, Genesee County. I'll call that facility the project. In making its decision, the Siting Board determined that the project will meet all the statutory requirements for certification under Article 10 of the Public Service Law, including a finding that the project will serve the public interest. Prior to beginning construction of the project, Excelsior must obtain a certificate of public convenience and necessity, also called a CPCN, pursuant to Public Service Law Section 68, which would ensure that Excelsior is properly registered to do business in New York State, that it has received the consent of appropriate municipalities to proceed with the project, and that it is financially capable of doing so. That's what this case is about. On February 25th, Excelsior filed a petition requesting that the Commission issue an order that grants a certificate of public convenience and necessity pursuant to Public Service Law 68, and finding that Excelsior is entitled to a lightened regulatory regime as a participant in the wholesale electric market. It is these specific requests that are the issues in this case, not the question of need for or the appropriateness of the project itself. The public statement hearing we are holding today is intended for comments on this case. As I mentioned before we went on the record, my name is Greg Sayre. I'm an administrative law judge with the Department of Public Service. I am responsible for presiding over these hearings and the development of a complete record in this case. This case, as I've explained, is currently before the Public Service Commission, not the Siting Board, for its consideration. The Commission may decide to approve the petition, reject it, or modify it. The Public Service Commission has 7 members. Now I will explain the process that we are going to follow today. The purpose of our hearing is to provide you with an opportunity to tell the Commission your thoughts on this case. The statements you make today will become part of the case record. We have a court reporter joining us who will prepare a transcript of the hearing, which will be included in the official record of this proceeding so that your comments can be considered by members of the Commission. When it is ready, the transcript will be available for public view on the Department of Public Service website. This hearing is not an evidentiary hearing with cross-examination, nor is it a question and answer session. It is a forum to hear comments from you. This is not the only opportunity for comment. If you do not speak at this afternoon's hearing or this evening's hearing, which we're going to hold at 6 o'clock, just like this one, but you would like your views included in the record, there are a variety of other ways to comment that were listed in detail in the public notice for this event today. You can make comments by submitting comments on the department's website, or by email, or by regular mail, or even by phone. Regardless of how the comments are submitted, they will be given equal consideration. Comments may be submitted and will be considered throughout the pendency of this proceeding. However, we request, but we do not require, that you submit your comments on or before June 1st, which is a week from today. If you have registered to make a statement, we ask that you please summarize lengthy written statements orally and submit the full written statement by email or regular mail. Because a relatively small number of people have signed up to speak today, I'm not going to enforce time limits on your statements, but please be respectful of the people who are waiting to follow you. We have 4 people who have signed up to participate electronically. When you speak, you should only use one audio input and one audio output at your end. Otherwise, we may experience problems with feedback when you're speaking. I will call the people who have timely registered electronically one by one to speak. After we call your name, we will unmute your line, and Ms. Xenia Vega from our Consumer Services Office will let you know you're unmuted. Please remember that if you have put your own telephone line or your computer on mute, you will also have to unmute your line at your end before you begin to speak. Please speak slowly and clearly so that the court reporter can accurately capture your statement for the record. Without further ado, let's go right into the statements. Our first speaker is Richard Colby.
Mr. Colby, your line has been unmuted.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for taking our input. I will send a copy of this at some point, or you should see it in writing also. But anyway, I'm one of the participating landowners for the Excelsior Energy Center, which is the solar farm that's planned for the town of Byron. And I've been working with Excelsior for 4 years now. They're a subsidiary of Next Year Energy, a publicly traded company with NEE stock ticker, based in Florida, although they have operations throughout the US and Canada. They say, and I believe them, they're the world's largest producer of wind and solar energy. This gives them extensive experience in building successful large-scale solar projects. I've been working with their agents, consultants, I don't know, other employees, lawyers, project managers since 2018. And I, along with the other landowners, when I was approached with the other landowners that spring, to make the long-term commitment, need to design and secure the approvals at the local, county, and state levels. Well, it's going into the 5th year. I think they continue to be within months of their original timetable, hardly slowing down for the COVID-19 pandemic. Next Year has always stood by their commitments to me, both financially and operationally. I have no concerns that they will continue to operate as they've agreed and as documented in their certificate and extensive plans that have been posted on the New York DPS website for this project. From published local press reports, both Genesee County, through its Economic Development Agency, and the town of Byron, when they announced the agreement to the pilot agreement, are encouraged that Next Year will start the construction in 2022. What they've learned from participating in several town and planning board meetings, information sessions, hearings, etc., the financial impacts to the local community are well documented, with $37 million in new tax revenues, 290 construction jobs, and it's probably the biggest event in the town of Byron since it was first cleared. The land was first cleared for farming over 200 years ago. So I ask you to approve the request for the certificate of public convenience and necessity, so the required construction to begin. Thanks for your consideration. Richard Colby, Cochran Road, Byron, New York.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Austin Kuntz.
Mr. Kuntz, your line has been unmuted.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Wonderful. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Public Service Commission for the opportunity to speak this afternoon regarding Excelsior Energy Center, and I'd like to attest to their ability and readiness to commence construction. As I just stated, my name is Austin Kuntz, and I am a union organizer for Labor's Local 435 based in Rochester, New York. As a local labor representative, I have the privilege of representing local construction men and women, while also working with developers to ensure projects of this magnitude are built with local labor. As a local representative, I can assure the Commission that there is an available workforce that is willing and able to develop this project. I look forward to submitting a written comment in addition to this, and I'd like to thank the Public Service Commission for the opportunity to speak this afternoon. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
And thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Carmen Serret.
Ms. Sarah, your line has been unmuted.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Carmen Surratt. I also work for the Laborers Union. I work for the New York State Laborers Organizing Fund. We help represent construction workers in the location of the project. Excelsior has proven to have done their due diligence and more than ready to begin construction on this project as the members of our union are prepared to go to work. As most people already know, renewable energy is needed in New York, which is why I recommend breaking ground on this project sooner rather than later. And I also will submit a longer statement on the written statement. Thank you.
And thank you for your comment, Mr. Surratt. Our next speaker is James Vincent.
Mr. Vincent, your line has been unmuted. James Vincent, your line has been unmuted. Please speak.
You may be muted at your end. Again, calling James Vincent. Please make sure your phone is unmuted. You're unmuted at our end. Go ahead and make your statement if you can. Mr. Vincent, if you're having technical problems, please call our helpline. That's 1-800-342-3330. I will circle back and try and get to you before this hearing ends. If you can't get through now, please try again at the 6 p.m. hearing. I'll make a slot available for you. That completes the list of people who have signed up. But we do have time for other people to speak who did not pre-register since we had such a relatively small number of speakers so far. I'd like to give anyone on the line the opportunity to speak who did not register. I'll start with people participating electronically. You'll need to find an icon on your screen that looks a little like a hand, usually around the lower right of the screen. You might have to move your cursor around to make it appear. Click on that now, and Ms. Vega from our Consumer Services Office, who's running this meeting, will find you in the participant list, call your name, and unmute you. When she calls your name, please go ahead and make your statement. And when you're finished speaking, please click on that little hand icon again to unraise your hand. Ms. Vega, do you see any raised hands?
Judge, I do not see any raised hands at this moment.
I see Mr. Vincent still has the hand
Yes.
icon on. We'll circle back to him in a minute.
Correct.
I would also like to give people who are participating by telephone and who did not register in advance but would like to speak an opportunity. If you wish to speak, please press *3 on your telephone now. We'll find you and unmute your line and give you a chance to make your statement.
Calling user, your phone has been unmuted.
Hello, this is Jim Vincent.
We're getting an echo again. Can you please make sure you don't have a speakerphone on or another line open? Can you say again, please?
Jim Vincent.
Oh, good.
Hello?
Glad to hear from you. Go ahead and make your statement.
Sorry for, I'm technically challenged, I think, this afternoon. So, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Vincent. I'm a retired president of Elbrook Farms and associated companies in Byron, New York. I've farmed in this community for over 55 years. Today, I would like to offer comment on the Excelsior Energy Center LLC project of NextEra Energy Resources. has been described as a 280 megawatt solar generation facility in the town of Byron in Genesee County, New York. The economic contributions of this project have been well documented for the benefit of the community, local governments, and rural businesses. NextEra has provided the financial ability for the project of this magnitude to take place. I think it's been 4 years of leases and 6 years of negotiations that has led to lease structure, environmental, and community feasibility review. And NextEra and Excelsior have performed with a high degree of integrity and perseverance. A project of this scale would have been impossible to meet and mitigate the regulatory hurdles the various bureaucracies required and imposed. The organization had the personnel with the depth of knowledge and inquiry to accomplish its goals, our goals. If the expertise was not in-house, they were not afraid to. Personally, there were issues that needed negotiation throughout the process. In all instances, it was handled in a deliberative fashion that created win-win results. As a landowner participant, beyond the infusion of yearly income that provides economic opportunity and sustainability for our businesses, we have the opportunity to partner, a true partner in addressing the challenges facing the world, that being sustainability. We've always, as agriculture and all farmers, have always prided ourselves with stewardship. Partnering with this project lets our farm and our farm families address global warming, environmental protection, and helps us to sustain critical resources. Engaging our resources on a scale of this nature to address these critical issues is a very leveraged opportunity for us, and we think for generations to come. Thank you so much, and I highly endorse this project.
Thank you very much for your comments. I see another raised hand from Mr. Tom McHale. Could you unmute Mr. McHale, and then you can go ahead and make your statement.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the PSC for the opportunity to speak today regarding the proposed Excelsior Solar Project. My name is Tom McHale, and I'm a union organizer with the New York State Labor's Organizing Fund and work with Local 435. I'd like to voice my support for the Excelsior Solar Project. With a $40.8 million construction labor budget, this project will bring 200 to 250 prevailing rate construction jobs to local men and women who can expect to work on this project, and 3 to 4 full-time jobs throughout the life of the project. Prevailing wage projects not only provide local workers with a livable hourly wage, but it also will provide them and their families with healthcare benefits and a suitable retirement. The Excelsior project is a 280 megawatt energy generating facility with 20 megawatts of energy storage. Through land agreements, this project will support the agricultural economy by infusing revenue into local farms and diversifying their income. I support this project and the benefits it will bring to the town of Byron and Genesee County. NextEra has made a commitment to use local labor on this project. We thank them for this. That's all I have. Thank you.
And thank you for your comments. I do not see any additional raised hands, so I'll make a last call. If you're on a computer and you want to make a statement and haven't already, please hit that raise hand icon that we show on the screen. If you're on the telephone, please hit *3 on your telephone now, and we'll identify you and give you an opportunity to make a statement.
Judge, I do not see any new raised hands.
Then I think we can wrap up this afternoon's hearing. I want to remind members of the public that they may submit public comments throughout these proceedings by the other means described earlier and in the notice of public statement hearing issued on April 25th. Again, we request but do not require that you submit your comments by June 1st. I thank the commenters for your participation. I thank Xenia Vega and Jill Wasser from our Consumer Services Office for administering this session and running the slides. Everyone on the line for being interested, and our court reporter, Anthony McLean. This public statement hearing is now concluded. We will go off the record.
We are off the record, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, and thank you all.